Hey guys, Zib the Awesome here to give you another Monster Legends Guides where we talk about monsters' moves, rune sets, partners, all that jazz. Today we're talking about Globrush. Globrush. I'm sorry, that's just a fun name to say. He's one of the new upcoming pirate monsters. He's my favorite out of the new pirate monsters. Look at his design. It looks awesome. And yeah, I'm really excited for this monster based on a number of things. One, the design is really cool. His kit's awesome. And the stats all around are alright. They're pretty cool. Yeah, that's just nothing to complain about. I think the only thing that's kind of bad is the trait, which is immune to blind. And another way it's not, though, because that way he can't really miss. If anything, he'd probably miss because of dazing. This guy's a pretty accurate monster, so that means his moves will more than likely hit you. And his damage output is nothing to really spit at. So let's get right into it. His power is 3,454. 3,454. This is a pretty awesome power. It's below the gospel power. That's all right. He has things to make up for that. It's completely fine. It's just, if anything, it's 11 points short. It's no skin up the nose. It really isn't. His life is 26,239. This is my life, not the tankiest life in the world, not the smallest. Lowest we tolerate is 25 in terms of life cap. Uh, it won't be taking too many hits from really heavy damage dealers. Just keep that in mind. His speed is 3,421. Essentially, it's an alright speed. It's what people kind of like in terms of attacking speed. Anything above 421 or 400 is just good enough. Just to get priority over other attackers that are running the same build set of a 2 damage and a speed. That's all that is. There's just nothing else. Whoever gets the first turn in terms of the attacker, really that's just a concerning thing. If you miss with your denier, if a denier didn't land on the attacker, that's the only thing speed for an attacker really. You should be more so being looking at the damage he deals. At most, you should be looking at the damage he does, and sometimes his life. His life is all right for the most part. Kind of is a little bit low, but not too heavy. And he does very substantial damage. His immunity is immune to blind. This helps him a lot because everybody loves running Invarv. Basically, he can never lose 75% of his accuracy. This helps a lot in terms of not missing his attacks. Beyond that, though, he can be DOT'd, he can be denied. That's really unhealthy. He can be frozen, he can be mega stunned. If people run Monkey, they can mega stun him. Not the most favorable thing in the world, and clearly not something you really do not want on this thing. You don't want that to happen to him, to be not ever having a turn. But the damage he does is phenomenal, and we'll get to that later. He's pretty much what Obsidian should have been. If you know what I'm talking about, it's this light monster here that came out in Christmas time. Oh, where is she? She's right here. This is essentially a better, way, way, way better version and better take on her than she was, than this one was supposed to do. You'll see that later. His ultimate is Galaxy Splitter. Deals insane light damage to all enemies, may blind all targets, may burn all targets. This is no cooldown, no energy, because it's his ultimate. It does 80 damage, and it blinds and burns people. Now, a lot of people, normally this wouldn't be too invalid, because a lot of people run light monsters. Sometimes the light monster is, immune to blind as their main immunity element. I'm going to say that doesn't really matter because a lot of people love running Invarv. A lot of people love running Invarv on defense. And when you have this thing with like AoE, blinding and burning, it means they have to wait before they can even use their AoE life regen. They have to time that out. This goes for the AI too. They have to, if they don't wait to use it and you can apply this immediately, they only get 5% heal back. That's all at most, and then they're blinded for 2 turns. This keeps damage off him too. So that's also a huge thing. He can keep damage off himself potentially with this ultimate. He also has the potentially to wipe out every single monster on the field, but we'll get to that later. Regardless if they're a light monster too, regardless if it's Invarv, he can nuke someone if he's running the normal damage build or X rune and 2 speeds even possibly. With a combo he can do, and we'll talk about that later. Just so you guys know, his ultimate does a lot of damage. Just in terms of damage output, this hurts. This hurts a lot. It just does. For there's nothing in skill groups 1 we will be talking about, nothing too major, I don't believe anyway. Everything's in skill groups 2 and 3. Alright, so Kana's major projection deals very heavy light damage to a single target, requires a cooldown of 2 turns, 28 stamina, 60 damage. The base damage on this is perfect. You know, see, you can't see it right now, but I'm doing the perfect sign. There's nothing to argue about this damage output. This is a choice you should think about running this move. I'm not 200% sure of a definite build yet. We'll get to that at the end though. But this does 60 damage, pretty solid, pretty nice. Thumbs up. Pocket Supernova deals moderate light damage to all enemies. Targets receive extra damage from light attacks. Requires a cooldown of 2 turns, 37 stamina, and 35 damage. And the hugest thing you guys gotta know about this, it makes them weak to light 80%. They take 80% more damage. Now, is this new? No. I mean, like like I said, you know, Obsidian was able to do this first, but it's kind of it was kind of like a metal knockoff. I think it's like only 50% more damage. I don't remember, but I think it was like a nerfed version. She had she had like, in terms of the new stuff that was coming out, it wasn't the highest in the world, I don't think. I could check up on that later. Not 100% sure, but either way, still, even if it was the same percent, this guy's still way better than her. His damage output is way better. This is just way better overall. Essentially, this makes everybody like you're applying oil to everybody, and the next turn you can blow him up. This is why you can get away with running 2 speeds and a strength, because essentially this covers it. If you're not running another strength rune, all you have to do is apply this, and kaboom, everything dies. It's the 2-turn nuker, essentially what this guy does. In terms of damage, he's capable of doing that. It would not be a crime to see someone running 2 speeds and a strength with this thing, because he, in all honesty, can get away with it. He just can with this AoE. If anyone's capable of doing this, they can get away with running less damage and more speed, essentially. It just means you can't. If you do that though, you can't run him on defense. And to be honest, you shouldn't be running this thing on defense. It's just not a good idea. It just doesn't have a life. He doesn't have life, and he's not immune to any form of deny. It's just not a good idea. Don't ever put this thing on defense. Use this on the attack. Suit you way better. But this is combo potential. This is great. This is why he's a great attacker. You run this move. There's no denying it. You run this move. This is the move to run for any set. It just makes everyone weak to his damage even more. Possibly you could get away with a tank set. That's a possibility. Well, we'll get to that later. You run a life and 2 speed, essentially. A really high life, mind you, and 2 speed. Angelic Shape deals moderate special damage. May blind target. Requires a cooldown of 1 turn, 45 damage, 28 stamina. I wouldn't really run this move. It's not too major. It's not too great. You get away with a spam. It's kind of spammable almost. It's a single turn cooldown, 45 damage. But I wouldn't run it unless you don't run this move. You can run it on a utility set if you just wanted for the lulz. But honestly, don't run this for an actual serious build. It's not a good idea. Triangulum Laser deals massive light damage, requires a cooldown of 3 turns, 28 stamina, 70 damage. This is the hugest thing. The base power on this is 70 damage. This is ultimate damage. True, it's a 3-turn cooldown. Keep in mind though, it's 70 damage. If you're running, even if you're running if you're running the stereotypical strength build of 2 strength, you're gonna blow a hole in something. Something's gonna take a huge amount of damage. True, this isn't effective against light monsters unless you have the Pocket Supernova up, but still, this does a lot of damage. Its damage is serious. This is not a bad move to run. In fact, you should be running this move. This is a huge damage output. It's a for sure blow. You're gonna for sure blow something up if you're running really high end damage runes on this thing. It's a must move to have. Galactic Tide deals moderate light damage to all enemies. Requires a cooldown of 3 turns, 36 stamina, 45 damage. You run this move. This is a must move to have, along with Pocket Supernova. You just do it. It makes his damage output better. It's base of 45 damage. And essentially, once you've applied this, normally running two AoEs is not the most healthiest thing in the world in terms of stamina cost, especially when it's 35-7 cost and a 36 cost. But that doesn't essentially matter because once he does this, he does a lot of damage. If they're not building tanky, you win. You do so much damage because you do 80% more damage if you're running just like a high end strength rune, and then you use Collected Tide the next turn. There's no way unless they've literally built tanky and they're really prepared for this. They aren't gonna get away with it even a turn. They probably won't. Black Matter deals heavy special damage, may blind target, may burn target. This requires a cooldown of 2 turns, 31 stamina, 50 damage. Now you have the choice to run this move. I'd say in terms of a main set build, I would run Pocket Supernova, Galactic Tide. For these two, you for sure have to run. And then you could choose between, you could probably you could run in fact, you could probably get away with running all light moves. That wouldn't be a crime at all. This is more so a utility option. Black Matter is, it does less damage. It doesn't combo with Pocket Supernova. To me, I would just, if anything, if I did equip this, I'd have it for utility sake alone. A lot of people run Invarv. The DOT isn't high enough. I personally would just stick to running all light moves. There would be no crime in that. Especially since you should always be the one controlling this monster. You don't ever put it on defense. You really shouldn't do that. Overall, this is a great offensive monster. So you would be running Pocket Supernova, Galactic Tide, Triangulum Laser, sorry, and Canis Major Projection. There's no reason not to run it. In terms of combo rotations, it's alright. If anything, you're going to be charging for a turn, and it will need to at that point. It'd be weird if the game is still on at that point, but it's a possibility. It would be weird too, because this is a 2-turn cooldown. In terms of cooldown, his cooldowns aren't too high. In fact, the only thing he's missing really is a spammable move. You could probably get away with running the spammable, probably not. Never mind. For good, I said that. Just run all of the light moves, and you're all right. You get a thumbs up. You're all good, and all that jazz. You run all these light moves. Run Canis Major Projection, Pocket Supernova, Galactic Tide, and Trigononium, Triangulum Laser. Sorry. The damage output is just all that great. It just is. You should be running it. Now things that get past this, Timeron and Totem, they're not going to be affected by the super effective thing, which kind of saves them the huge amount of damage they could have taken, mind you. I will say things that are immune, or like they have the tough trait, you have a chance not to apply it to them. I think that only matters though if you're not running a full damage build. If you're running just a rank up, maybe you could though. Maybe I don't know. You just have to kind of see it. If you're running the 2 speeds and a strength, that little like that X strength rune. We're talking about X or 9 or X, 9 or 10 strength rune. You can see how much damage you do. If it's not enough to wipe out everybody, that's okay. In terms of damage out, you still do a substantial amount of damage. The 80% more damage is just pretty much close to guarantee you will kill them at the next move. If not, you have a chance to kill them with the next move, or you have to use you have to hit them again. That's just the thing. But overall, this guy's damage is spot on. He can be stunned. Again, another thing about him too, he can be denied. So it's not hard to get around this guy if you do see this guy in defense. In fact, it's probably an easy 3 coins. In all honesty, it's an easy 3 coins. You just have to deny him. He's not immune to anything. You can just straight up deny him. I will say he gets past things like Valgar the Pure. Valgar the Pure, yep, he gets past Valgar the Pure and Queen Luthien's shields. If you don't have that's only if you don't have a deny on you. Odds are people are going to be running the full, like, there's no reason, again, there's no reason for them not to be running it. They're probably going to run the full light set. You can get by pretty much those monster shields. That's the hugest thing. So if you see them on defense and they wind up doing the AoE shield, they can't, that's a waste of a turn because he doesn't care. This guy really doesn't care about, like, the special protection. One of the best things close to space time, in terms of securing 3 coins for common and uncommons. He can pass those easily. He really doesn't care. Same thing can go with Invar, because usually people they have a 2 4 chance to use the one of the light AoEs. That's a thing. You can get past those. That's just the thing. That's the only reason why you probably see this guy on defense too. There's no other reason to have him on defense, save for that occasion where you can get past the light barrier, one of the strongest defensive buffs in the game, because the only damage that can touch you at that point is light damage. For partners, you may run a bunch of things with this thing. Anything from increasing damage output to giving him more damage or more light. I mean, like, if you want to do something interesting, you could run a kind of a tanky team with Totem and something that gives life regen. You could do that. Totem can essentially make any attacker in the game, especially just anything in the game that isn't running strength runes, at some point do so much damage that it can wipe the whole field. You can get away with that. There's a bunch of possibilities you can build around with this monster because the damage output is there. You can get away with a few builds. In terms of comp, Demise, we're talking Demise, which is another light monster, actually. So you might only ever get to use that combination once in war. Metal monsters, let's see here. You can get away with quite a few things. Just a bunch. You can run, Kalik. You can run things that give immunities to the common things in the game, like Kalik. I just found out that Olafur now, they buffed it. I didn't know they buffed him. It could have been before the. Well, where is he? He's right here. I don't know if they buffed him before or after the event, but now that he's one of that single target skill that gives him the resistances. That also spreads to the allies. Apparently, it's a chance that it'll give immunities. It could be just a single immunity or all of them to his allies. That's a possibility. That's a thing you could run it with, maybe. It's just kind of slow, though. I would honestly just stick with using things like Monster Device or Kalik. That's how you counter things that aren't naturally immune to things like the meta deny. You pair it up with something that can give it that. In a fire light war situation, you could run Fire Liquid. He can give you stun resistance or anything like that, whatever you need. You can play around with the moveset to make it so it's favorable. Fire Liquid's a buffer. You can run Farina, stamina regen, life heal. You can get away with a few different kinds of builds if you so wished it. You just gotta keep in mind of the combinations and what he's limited to. He lacks natural recovery. He lacks natural immunity to deny. And yeah, that's you should know. You should probably build him like a little bit meaty if you're gonna put him on defense. You could get away with that just because he can do really high natural damage. That's just the thing. Yeah, that's really all you need to know about this monster. Globrush. Let me know if you have any more questions on this monster. I'll be happy to answer them. I'm Dib the Awesome, and I'll catch you guys later.